This week, all eyes are on Raleigh as legislative leaders move closer to a state budget deal that could shape tax policy, teacher pay, and local government funding. You're watching the Matthews Area Chamber Advocacy Update. I'm Sarah Principe, and it's May 18th, 2026. The biggest news out of Raleigh last week was that the House and Senate leadership appear to have reached the framework of a budget agreement. This comes after a long-running impasse over tax policy. To be clear, this is not a final budget. There are still many line item spending decisions that need to be worked out. But legislative leaders have announced several major pieces that are likely to shape the final package. On tax policy, the agreement would continue lowering the individual income tax rate over the next several years, eventually bringing it below 3%. Revenue triggers could allow for additional reductions after that. Leaders also agreed to move forward with a constitutional amendment that would cap the state income tax rate at 3.5%. The framework also includes several compensation items. That includes an average 3% raise for state employees, bonuses based on salary level, a 2.5% cost of living adjustment for state retirees, an average 8% raise for teachers, and larger targeted raises for certain law enforcement positions. For the business community, the teacher pay and workforce-related pieces are especially important. Education, workforce readiness, and talent development all play a major role in long-term economic growth. The framework also includes a separate constitutional amendment proposal related to local property taxes. This proposal would ask voters to require the General Assembly to place limits on local property tax levy growth. A levy cap is different from a simple tax rate cap. Instead of only limiting the tax rate, it would limit how much total property tax revenue a local government could collect from year to year. However, we do not yet know what the cap would be. We also do not know what exceptions may apply or how the legislation would account for growth, new development, public safety needs, infrastructure demands, or voter-approved investments. If the constitutional amendment moves forward, the detailed implementing legislation would likely come later, after the November election, assuming voters approve the amendment. So while this budget agreement is an important step, it is best understood as a starting point rather than a completed budget. Budget chairs are expected to continue working through the details, with a conference report potentially ready for review in mid-June. And lastly, part of the Lumen Strategies team was in Washington, D.C. last week for the North Carolina Economic Development Summit, where we learned about an upcoming opportunity for small businesses. The U.S. Department of Transportation is hosting a free small business matchmaking event in Raleigh on June 4th. The event is designed to connect small businesses with federal procurement officials and contracting opportunities. This may be especially relevant for businesses in construction, engineering, technology, logistics, or transportation-related services. Registration is required, and more information is available in the email where you accessed this video. That's all for today. We'll continue tracking these and other policies that could impact businesses in Matthews. Until next time, I'm Sarah Principe, and this has been the Matthews Area Chamber Advocacy Update.